Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast, where I unleash the truth about all things pets. My research and anecdotal evidence, paired with expert interviews, will help your pet thrive. I'm here to answer questions, share insights, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets. I'm Toni Shelaske with 25 years of experience in the pet space. Welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast. I am super excited to introduce you to Christine. Christine has been a longtime customer and friend of ours at Healthy Pet Products. And welcome, Christine.
Hi, it's good to see you.
So we've gotten to know each other from the store, and it turns out that Christine does a ton of traveling with her pets. And I realized how many good tips you have for people. So I thought, we thought it was a great idea to get on here and talk about it. And this'll be ideal timing.
Sounds good. Yes, I think we started talking about with the tennis ball.
Yes.
Which is like a whole section of travel preparedness.
Yes. So, how many hours do you think you've traveled with your pets? And we're just talking United States, right?
Correct. Yeah, definitely the lower 48. But I've had, for sure, we're at over 300 hours on the road.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess, our conversation started because I would love to bring my dogs to the Florida store, but I'm worried about the drive. I'm worried about doing it by myself. So, because it's a long drive from Pittsburgh. So tell me tips for long drives.
So basically, short drives, which would be for, here to the store, here to a relative's house. We're not even really covering that right now because those are very easy to prepare for. You can go back to your house. You can reassess things without a big deal. But a long road trip is another story. You can't always just go back to your house. You don't want to pull over on the side of the highway to rearrange the situation. So long drives, it's all about safety, comfort for you and the animal, and convenience for you and the animal. So I would say, first you have to think about your mode of transportation. Do you have a small car? Do you have a truck? Do you have seats that go all the way down or not? So you really have to know your space. That is absolute number one in planning.
Wow. Okay.
So if you want to take your dogs, I think traveling with dogs, it really depends on the dog. I've had dogs that just sit down and sleep, and I've also had the dog that wants to be in the driver's seat in your business. So you're going to have to, consider, which dogs are you bringing?
So I have Layla, who is 15 months old, and she's a Great Dane. And then Bo, he is a 13-and-a-half-year-old cattle dog. And they don't even love each other.
Right. So I've dealt with this issue with cats, cats that don't necessarily get along, and you don't want to force them into a shared space. So you could confine one, let the other one that's more calm in I don't know if you have you seen those little soft seats that strap into the car?
Yes.
You could do something like that. What I do with my German Shepherd is I actually, because I have no space in the back, I will actually build up the footwell in the passenger seat, and then I put his bed on top. Because he's a calm passenger, so he'll just sit there, look out the window, sleep. But I've maximized my space. I have my duffel bag in there. I have a bag of dog food under there. Things that I don't need to get at during the trip, I'm going to put in that footwell.
So I just recently bought a new back seat cover,
Okay.
and it has the harder bottom. It still has a cushion to it on the top, but it has a harder surface that covers that back seat wheel well.
Mm-hmm.
So because she's over 100 pounds, she needs that extra space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love it. I was shocked because, it's so hard to find
Mm-hmm.
just the right seat cover. And so I found that, but as I was searching, Orvis makes wheel well containers.
Oh, nice.
So they fit right in that right behind your back seat,
Mm-hmm.
covers up, and it brings it up level to the back seat. And then it has a top that opens for storage.
And you know what? I didn't know that Orvis made those, but if you want to be a little bit more light on your dollars,
Uh-huh.
you can do the Sterilite. I actually have one wheel well that I always put food that I don't need to get at, or cleaning supplies I don't need to get at. Um, just a Sterilite, you can get one that will fit your car area,
Yeah.
and then it has that top. And usually, maybe you have a beach towel, you stick
Mm-hmm.
that on to make it level.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yes, definitely. It's good to use that space for things that might break. For big, say you have pillows,
Mm-hmm.
or my animals have a lot of like beds and blankets and scratchers, just things I won't need until the end of the journey. You
Yeah.
stick that in there, you could even build it up with things like that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, how about me as a human being managing a long drive? Because my back, my hip, what tips do you have for me
Right.
there?
Well, definitely preparing yourself is huge. Um, this is where the convenience comes in. Number one, you have to portion out things. Just, I'm going to get to the physical things, but just you need a clear mind first. And you have to portion out anything you might need during the trip or for an overnight. It's going to make your life so much easier and your stress level go down. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking litter, have extra dog bags somewhere super easy. I actually put mine in the sunglass
Mm.
thing so I can just grab a dog bag, and food portioned out per meal. Ziploc bags are great for this. Unless
Yes.
you have like a can or something that's a portion size.
Yeah.
But if you're using kibble or something you've cooked, just something you can dump in their bowl and toss the bag.
Gotcha.
Have it out of the way.
Yes.
Um, for your physical comfort, the tennis ball or any kind of like a yoga ball, you put it under your thigh or on your back. Anytime you feel that Charlie horse kind of feeling in your
Mm-hmm.
leg,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, the tennis ball, you just roll it around a little bit, get those pressure points.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make you feel so much better.
You blew my mind when you recommended that to me. I was like, "What? That's that." I mean, that just makes so much sense.
Well, did you know that you should always have a bungee cord too, like the small bungee cords?
No, what's a small bungee cord gonna do?
So, did you know that bungee cords prevent fatigue?
No.
Yeah. So, if say you've got 12 hours to drive,
Yeah.
15 hours, you can have bungee cords on hand because I guarantee you're going to be packed one day and things are going to start shifting. The latches on your carriers or your crates are going to start vibrating and click, 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 click as you're
Oh,
going
that
down the road.
drives you nuts.
Drives you nuts and it fatigues you. It really takes the energy out of you.
Huh.
So, what you do is you can take these tiny, you don't have to get huge ones. You can get a pack from Harbor Freight or even the grocery store,
Uh-huh.
and you can hook it in the latch and then just stretch it to another part of the crate to
Uh-huh.
secure it so that's not bouncing anymore.
Uh-huh.
You have things shifting that look like they might shift, just stick a bungee cord around it. The
That's a
best.
that's a great idea. And I
I
never considered that being mental fatigue, that rattling but it is.
Yeah. And there's nothing worse when you're going down the road, say it's inclement weather, you can't pull over, you're going, down a road in Wyoming, it's 100 miles long and there's orange cones the whole way. I mean, you do not want to be stuck with that rattling
No.
right behind your head. It will tire you out like nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like a cross country, or do you plan like where you're going to have overnights, how far you're going to make it to sleep? Like do you do that?
I do. So personally, I know that I can't do more than 12 hours comfortably. That's my maximum. I would always rather drive further than overnight because
Mhm.
personally for me, I've got 5 animals. Um, Bringing everybody in and out of a hotel or an Airbnb is a lot. It's very exhausting. Um, you also have to deal with weather. I mean, you might have things in your car that will freeze or overheat. I'd rather not stop unless I have to.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be looking at the weather. I'm going to plan a stop in a comfortable location. Also, I want to mention that, there's kind of three places you can stop. There's the motel, the
Mhm.
hotel, or an Airbnb. And I really prefer an Airbnb or a motel over your standard hotel because it makes life easier. You back up to it, you empty your stuff out,
Mhm.
better a little house or something, a little townhouse than an apartment with stairs.
Mhm.
All of this is going to really make your life easier. And generally, the costs are the same.
Wow. And you're able to find ones that have been A, pet friendly, and B, that will do just one night for you?
I have been able to find that even down to the last minute. One of my last trips, I needed to find something. It was a last minute trip, and they allowed one night, which was great. Most places are pet friendly now. There's more and more places becoming pet friendly. I've never run into a big issue with that, especially if you're traveling such a distance. You can always go to the next town, and there might be one there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've said you've gone so far as to actually have a conversation with them to say, "Hey, listen, please please consider it because look at my rating on Airbnb or Verbo or whatever." You know what I mean? I have a trusted history here.
Yeah, I think it's important, one bad dog experience, chewing on furniture can really
Mm,
ruin it for the rest of us. So it is important to have that conversation, and it also makes other people think um, for the future pet parents coming down the road. Oh, it doesn't mean this is going to be another bad experience.
right, right. Yes, I love that. And I agree with you on choosing a motel over a hotel because you have that outdoor access so quickly
Yes.
and your vehicle's like right there. I love that. When I've had to use a hotel,
Hmm.
I've asked to be like all the way at the end so that I am close to that side door so that I don't always have to go out through the lobby. I
Hmm.
think that also makes it easier because if you have to go through the lobby, there might be people that don't like pets or, you never know, right?
Right. And you might have a pet that also is hyper aware of everything going on. And in a
Yes.
hotel, there's so many elevators going up and down and vibration of the footsteps above you and cars pulling in and out. I think I have a cat that will absolutely not sleep in a hotel.
Really?
Yeah. That's actually why I started going to Airbnbs instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay. So tell me what pets you always travel with.
So I have one newbie, and he's only got about 10 hours under his belt, but the others have hundreds of hours. Three cats and a German Shepherd.
So you travel with 3 cats and a German Shepherd.
Yes.
And we already talked about the German Shepherd. He's in the front seat with that
Yes.
wheel well level to the front seat.
Right.
And he's super chill and just is a perfect partner.
Right. And I
Okay.
think also, especially for, young women and men traveling alone,
Mm-hmm.
really anybody traveling alone, I think having a dog that has easy access to you when you're stopped at a gas station, when you're running into a rest area, if the dog is in the back, you know, it's a little bit harder for that dog to
Yeah.
access you in an emergency, right? So I like having a dog there. He's a bit of a deterrent in any kind of situation. I do not
Mm-hmm.
drive at night, but if you have to, I would suggest if you have a large dog, have the dog next to you. When you go to pump gas, you can roll down the window so the dog, is available.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. And so how do you manage the cats with litter pans and food and water? How do we manage the cats?
So I have a small SUV, um, and I can get two small dog crates in there. So I have them set up long ways. They have doors on the side and on the ends.
Uh-huh.
I have them set up so that I only use the ends to access. So that way I can actually, if it's raining or snowing or minus 25 degrees outside, I can actually shoehorn myself onto my center armrest thing, and I can sit there facing the back of my car and take care of what I have to take care of without even unlocking my doors.
Okay, so you put the crates in and the doors will open towards the front of the car.
Correct.
I follow you. Okay. Okay.
And I should mention 3 or 4 days beforehand, before a trip, I dress the crates. So that means I'm putting in uh, blankets, maybe a scratcher, maybe a catnip toy, and each crate will get a very small litter pan, the travel size. They have the
Mm-hmm.
disposable ones, but you can also get like the grocery store ones or the Petco ones are very small,
Okay.
um, probably 10 inches or so.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I use those. They work really well. They're the perfect size.
So do you do 2 cats in one crate and 1 cat in another crate?
Yes.
And is that because they get along differently?
Yes. So
Okay.
I have one that likes his personal space bubble a little bit larger.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my crates is slightly smaller than the other, maybe 2 inches. So he'll go in that one alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now he has a partner, but before, one in the smaller crate and then the two that get along very well in the larger crate.
So do you cover the crates?
I do not cover the crates. So I do have a little bit of separation. So anything flat, a long scratcher, um, my laptop case, I use every inch of space I have in my car. So between the crates, not only for their privacy, just to have a little bit more self containment, but also to prevent rattling
Mm-hmm. Oh,
between the
yeah.
crates. So I'll put a scratcher, like a book, just enough to kind of separate them a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And then the back towards the lift gate
Uh-huh.
will be full of our stuff, my clothes, um, household stuff, things that we just will always travel with, and
Yeah.
that does create a wall behind them. But typically they're not covered on top and not in the front.
Okay. So, and then when you stop and you have to get them out, if you're stopping for the night,
Hmm.
you just go in your backseat door, open the crate, and pull them out that way.
Yes, I do
Gotcha.
that, and I just take the furthest ones out first. Um, Now that's a whole nother thing. But before we get there, just in terms of preparing everything,
Uh huh.
not only do you want to prepare the interior of your car so that it's workable, you don't want to put the crate in there and then realize you can't open the door or things
Mm-hmm.
like that, or you can't get into the litter box to scoop it. Um, the other thing is just, you want to have your car checked maintenance wise. You don't want to
Mm.
end up with a flat
Mm-hmm.
tire. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, things will happen on their
Mm-hmm.
own anyway. It's best to
Mm-hmm.
just mitigate it. You can go to almost any tire place or mechanic and have them do like a pre-road trip check.
Oh,
I try to do that,
yeah.
especially if I'm going all the way across the country.
Yeah.
Just double check your tires. Don't leave with any low pressure warnings. Don't leave with any lights on your dashboard. Um, that's probably the biggest thing. Have your oil change done. Have enough gas. That's another thing. you know, I always say if you have a third of a tank, you might as well be empty.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I hit a third, I'm looking.
Yeah. Um, so with traveling with your cats, did they adapt right away? Did they adapt right away or did it take time? Did you work them up time wise? Like, did you test it out a little bit? Like, tell me how that went
To the car or to a new place?
to driving in a car long
No.
distance.
They adapted. So when I started traveling with them, I did not accumulate as much stuff for them as I have. Uh, I learned over time
Mm-hmm.
that the more stuff of theirs they have around them, the easier it is for them.
Hmm.
So now I would never travel without their used scratchers. I mean, like the most clawed up,
Yeah. Makes
you know,
sense.
falling apart
Mm-hmm.
scratchers, you want it in that car. If not in the crate with them, next to it, in between, something like that. Pillows, unwashed.
Yeah.
If this isn't the time to like wash all of their stuff and put it in,
No.
you
Yeah.
want their scent as much in that car as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even litter. So I actually will usually, I'm getting ready to go. I'll take their litter pans, their travel pans. I'll clean out their home box, and then I'll use that litter in their travel pans.
Oh,
So it's like being at home for them.
interesting.
Yeah.
And they
Continuity.
yeah, continuity. I love that. So you put so much thought into so many little details. That's why I thought having you on would be just such a fabulous idea. Because I mean, I would have never thought of the litter thing. I would have never thought of the tennis ball. I would have never thought of a lot of this. So, and they use their litter pans
Yes. Yes. Every time. So
every time.
what's worked for me, and I've learned, uh, I used to give them a meal in the morning before we left, or I would put food and water in their crates.
Okay,
I don't do that anymore.
gotcha.
They get a hydrating snack before about an hour before they get in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have like tube, a tube. Everybody on the road when we stop or whatever, we'll get half a tube.
And by tube, just so our listeners understand, the little tubes of mousse, like a mousse,
yeah.
right? There's all different brands now.
Right, the churro, the tiki, all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will have a couple of those handy for me, and then that will keep them hydrated, because the first times I traveled, I did the bowls, the ones that attach to the crate, it just goes everywhere. It takes up space. They don't use it. But even so, they will use the litter box, and I always scoop when I stop to walk the dog.
Okay. So for the dog, do you stop every 3 or 4 hours? Like, how often do you stop for the dog?
You know, it really depends on the day. I think, we all wake up different every day, and I know some days he's just happy as a clam, just sitting there, and I can go pretty far. I'll see him sleeping, and I'll push as much as I can if they're sleeping. If he's getting up and turning around, and then he's turning this way, he needs to stretch. I just use my judgment on that. But he can go a good 2-3 hours if he has to.
Okay. And then do you feed him before you hit the road, or do you withhold him as well?
Well, I just keep his schedule pretty much the same. So I'll bring a portion of food. He doesn't eat as early as the cats would normally eat.
Yeah.
So I just keep his schedule. He doesn't have any issues since he can go out to use the bathroom. I'm not going to feed him the normal amount. I'm going to give him a little bit less while we're in the car, because I don't want any kind of stomach ache or bloating or torsion situation. So then when we get where we're going, he'll get a full meal.
Have you ever had to use CBD or any type of calming with the dog or your cats?
No, I've never used anything like that. I've never had to. The first couple times that we were on a long car ride, we had some meowing for, I don't know, maybe about 30 minutes, because of just everything that was going on, the sensation of the highway. And, they just stopped. They've learned that nothing's going to happen to them. I keep the temperature comfortable. You don't want it too cold, but you want airflow. I just keep them comfortable, and then they sleep, or they just look out the window. They groom each other. It's really nice when you don't have that feeling like you're doing something wrong, or they're upset, or they're not feeling well.
Any thoughts on what you listen to?
Yes. So if you just have dogs, I think it's another story. I think dogs can handle music, like with a beat. I think music is easier on dogs than it is for cats. I think you can play music. Of course, their hearing is so much better than ours, right? So we're not going to put it at a volume that we would normally listen to it at. I usually do podcasts or audiobooks anyway, which is something that I have on in the house, right? So it's another continuity for them. Oh, she's listening to a podcast again.
Right.
And the talking, generally, it's not going to be as loud as music could be. But I think soft music, something without a lot of bass, would be fine if you have cats. But you definitely want to check the volume.
Yeah. Yeah. I even think about that at home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm weird about, having my music too loud at home because, they can hear so much better than we can. But I love the idea of listening to the Toni Unleashed podcast while you drive, right?
Yes.
Like that. Everyone could just listen to Toni Unleashed. The cats and dogs would love it. It's all about them.
Yeah. And they know that.
Yeah. So, and podcasts, a lot of times there is, if you find a happier one or a more upbeat one, there is like laughing and, positivity in the voice. They pick up on all that, I think, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They
Yeah.
know, and they can sense if they can sense a familiar voice, if it's
Mm-hmm.
something you listen to a lot, or
Yeah. Yeah.
I talk to people on the phone. I mean, I've got 12 hours in the car. I'm calling all my friends, all my family. So they're going to hear me just talking like I would normally talk.
Okay, so tons of tips in the car. Okay, so it's time to stop for the night. How do
Mhm.
we get them in and settled and situated and sleeping?
Okay. So when you get to the place of your destination, the first thing is safety. So the most important thing is you want to clear your destination. That means I would go in first, check the place. Are there doors open? Are there windows open? The
Mm,
windows have screens. Are there tears in the screens?
mm-hmm.
Um, I would check the unders under the bed. Is it a mess under there?
Hmm.
Bathrooms, and this is going to be important. Bathrooms like spills and pills. You just want to, you do not want them getting into anything. There may be something on the floor from a previous guest. I would just give everything a good once over before you bring your pets inside. And you want to check potential hiding spots too.
Mm. With the
Um,
cats.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
with cats. Maybe some dogs, can also kind
Yeah.
of scurry and hide behind a bed or something too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to check for any dangers first. Then, and another thing is under sinks. Um, my cats can open cabinets,
Cleaning stuff.
cleaning
Chemicals.
supplies, chemicals. That's under like the spills and tills. Um,
Great point.
insect, poison, rat poison,
Yes.
insect poison, and also the plumbing area. Some places they've just knocked a hole out in the wall, exposed plumbing. I mean, if a kitten gets in there, they're in the wall. You
You'd
know,
have to tear the whole house down.
it takes 2 seconds to just peep under there,
Yeah.
and if you have a situation, you've got your bungee cords, if nothing else, just tie the handles together. Put your suitcase in front of it,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
to just block that off temporarily.
Yeah. I wonder if duct tape would also be a good thing to have.
I always carry scissors and duct tape.
Oh, you do. You did say that. Scissors and duct tape on
Yeah,
hand. So scissors, duct tape, bungee cords. And
and
you like the shorter bungee cords.
yeah, I've never needed a large one. I'm
Okay.
talking like the foot to 2 foot ones
Yeah.
are usually fine for me.
Yeah. Okay, so we survey the land.
Yes.
Okay.
So next, you're needing to get your animals and their stuff inside.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this is weather dependent.
Hmm.
If it's a nice day outside, I would probably just take litter, food bowls, water bowls, fill them up, get everything kind of set in the place. Whether you're at your destination or you're overnighting, it's the same.
Yeah.
You're gonna set everything up so that they can see it. So it's not tucked away in a corner. It's kind of like you want to put it in the middle where they're not going to miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, I think this is where my personal um, mo, like everyone should be able to pick up their cats. Some cats I know they don't really like being picked up. I've trained mine to like being picked up. I
Yeah.
pick all of my cats up several times a day.
Yeah.
Um, if you and this is so I always have carriers for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and and I've done it from crate to carrier to inside, and I think
Hmm.
sometimes that's necessary. I'm at the point where now I'll clear the bathroom and then I'll bring in the cats just directly from the carrier and I put them in the bathroom
Hmm.
so that they're in the bathroom. If the door, I can just keep the door
Hmm.
unlocked. Just one, two, three.
Make your trips back and forth so you don't have to worry about one scooting out the main door.
Exactly. And
Makes sense.
it just gives them, because they're going to be running around. You
Hmm.
don't want to deal with that. It also lets you get some of your stuff inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you have
Yeah.
your own stuff. That's what I do. It works well for me. My cats are very easily held. They're not squirmy. But I think that having a carrier, I like the ones that can fold.
Hmm.
Um, you can always transfer into the carrier. I think you have to be very careful of that too. Make sure they're not getting out. But you can do that and then transfer or leave one in the carrier. If there's no bathroom, like everyone has these barn door things.
Hmm.
If there's no room you can lock them in, you can always keep one or two cats in a carrier and then do the rest.
So, it would be something could spook a cat if you're carrying the cat from the car to the motel or Airbnb or whatever, and something spooks it and jumps out of your arms. Like
Yeah.
there's.
And this is where, you have to know your cats. I mean, I have a very firm grasp on them, but I also know that, you know, my particular cats don't get spooked very easily.
Hmm.
Um, you have to know your cat. Like I said,
Yeah.
when I first started traveling, I did use carriers, and I still would in certain circumstances.
Hmm.
But if I'm parked 2 feet away from the entrance of my destination, I think it's safer for me to just bring them right in
Yeah.
and secure them inside
Yeah.
while I continue the process. I think sometimes fumbling with the carrier and the door of the crate can sometimes be more difficult and more risky. You definitely
Sure.
want to avoid
Sure. Sure. That makes total sense. Total sense. And I think it's really important to stress that you have raised your cats, even though you might not have even had them from kittens,
risk. Hmm.
to be able to be picked up,
Hmm.
and you're in tune with your cats. You know their behaviors. You're able to put them in carriers. You're able to manage them. So
Hmm.
you've prepped them for that. Prep them for life. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to prep Layla for life. Take her everywhere. She was on her first elevator when she was 5 months old.
Hmm.
So, it's important that we prep them for it, socialize them, and continue to socialize them.
Absolutely. And another thing, that might be an option would be a harness.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can, if they're wearing a harness already, maybe slip if you're not confident about holding them and you don't want to do a carrier, you could do a harness and carry situation into the place.
So, do you have any opinion on? I know you do. On the cats wearing collars or harnesses while they're in the crate when you're driving.
Um, Personally, I think it just depends on your cat. I think if it's a safe environment, there's nothing they can snag on. Um, they're accessible. You're prepared to stop if you need to. Uh, I think a harness for a couple hours drive is probably fine.
Hmm.
I would prefer a harness over a collar. Um, then again, collars, with ID and everything, that's all good as well. But in terms of safety movement wise, I think a harness is okay. But you have to know your cat. If they're going to be rambunctious and it could get snagged on something, they could get the harness off during the trip, and now your plan is kind of off
Yeah.
if you haven't prepared for that. It might be harder than you expect getting a harness back on a cat in a crate in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're at our place. We've got the cats in the bathroom secured.
Yeah.
You're making trips back and forth to your vehicle, bringing everything else in. You get the dog, you let the dog go potty, bring the dog in. So is that when we let the cats out of the bathroom? When all of your stuff is in and situated, then cats come out?
Yes, then cats come out. They're probably going to explore for a while. I wouldn't even try to feed them yet. Say this is evening, we've gotten to our place for the night. I wouldn't even try to feed them until they're kind of done exploring, like an hour, maybe. And then I'm going to feed them as close to their normal dinner time as possible.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. And they eat.
they eat.
And that's probably a good thing. You're keeping them hydrated with those tubes.
Hmm.
And then when you do get to your destination in the evening, they are hungry and ready to eat, which
Right.
helps keep them on a schedule.
Absolutely. I don't do free feeding at my house. Um, I've tried it in the past. It didn't work for my fur family. And I think that not only does it give you the authority of a parent in the
Hmm.
relationship
Hmm.
to have meal times, but it also creates a lot of comfort for them because for cats,
Hmm.
routine is comfort.
Hmm.
Um, our routine happens on wheels, it happens in a hotel, it happens at home. The
Hmm.
routine is the comfort. It's not going to be their surroundings.
Right. Right. And I don't recommend free feeding, so for cats or for dogs, but that's a whole other episode.
Right.
Okay, so then how do you feed yourself?
To myself on the road.
I mean, do you do Uber Eats? Like, what do you have food packed for yourself? Snacks for yourself on the road?
Yeah, so I'm going to make it as easy as possible for myself. Um, I would rather have a meal at home if I can. So I would have packed something for me to have that night. And then once we get to a more permanent destination, I can let them chill. Then I might go out after everything is situated. It might be later for me, but I'm going to go out and get something for myself quickly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So then everybody sleeps, everyone's fed, and then we get up in the morning. And what's the routine getting back into the vehicle?
So getting back into the vehicle is going to be pretty much the same as it was getting into the house. So I put their litter stuff in. We're going to clean the bowls. Bowls go back where they belong. Dog gets walked. No breakfast, just a snack. And then uh, I have one Heidi cat, so he's going to go in the car as soon as possible. I don't
Okay.
dilly dally. There's nothing worse than an empty house. Oh, I meant to say, I also bring at least some of their comfort items in for overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So scratcher blanket, at least
Mm-hmm.
one scratcher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't like to leave him in a place very long if everything is in the car ready. He gets anxious. So he's going to go in the car right away. And then I'm going to get, the dog ready. Dog will go in and the rest of the cats will go in. It's very fast in the morning. No waiting around.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I find that after we've spent a night somewhere on the
Uh-huh.
road, they're much happier to get back into the car.
Really?
Yeah, like they're definitely just more relaxed in the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
I'm
a,
sure they pick up on the routine.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When I was a pet sitter, people, the most people, because I didn't do overnights, I would only do, like when people traveled, I would do 3 visits a day or 4 if they wanted it, but 4 is overkill in my opinion. So I would do 3 visits a day. And I had so many customers that were worried, but well, how will they be overnight? How are they going to sleep? How are they going to, that was their first worry. And they're at home, they're in their own environment, they get used, they would know my routine and I would stay in routine. So they just knew what I was there for, and they're in a familiar environment, so they just would sleep totally fine.
Right.
But I think we as humans have trouble grasping that. But anyhow, but that's kind of a similar scenario kind of situation, is just keeping them in the routine. They pick up very quickly on routine. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's so important to just stay calm and really manage your own energy because challenges
Yes.
will come up. Like, I never take risks, always prepare,
Yeah.
visualize,
Yeah.
plan, because
Yeah.
challenges will come anyway. One time we got stuck in a blizzard at a rest
Wow.
area for like, it was about 3 hours we were stuck there. But I didn't know it was going to be only 3 hours, you know? So
Yeah.
I was really happy that I had a gallon of water, easily accessible stuff, extra tubes, um, just things to make everybody calm.
Yeah.
This is okay. I had a full tank of gas so I could run the car and we didn't all freeze.
Yeah.
It was just that that level of preparedness for your space is going to help you when there's something unforeseen.
Absolutely. And I think that it comes up almost on every one of my episodes how important it is that you try to maintain your own sense of calm, because they pick up on that.
Absolutely.
So it's very difficult for some to do that, but they really feel what we are feeling. So it's important to stay calm. What about in case you need a vet? Like, what if, do you have that kind of mapped out too, in case there's an emergency and you've got to get to an emergency vet?
Um, what I would do when I was traveling, and I have had to use a vet maybe twice, not for
Mm-hmm.
anything really emergent, but you know, Google and Maps is a wonderful thing. Vet near me, you see what their services are, their
Yeah.
hours are.
Yeah.
Generally, where there's a hotel or an Airbnb, there's a vet not too far away. Um, and in an emergency, I mean, we're not going to be reading 1,000 Yelp reviews,
No.
So I mean, generally, there's a vet. If you're not too far off the beaten path, I don't car camp, so I can't speak to like being out in the national forest.
Mm.
But but I can speak to, average towns. You're gonna find somebody. And use your resources, use the people around you. The
Yeah.
cashier at the Pilot Travel Center probably has a dog and uses
Mm-hmm.
a vet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to ask the people that are there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you see someone else walking a dog. Oh, is there a vet around here? I kind of need to get my dog in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just use your
Well,
resources.
and what about tags? Do you do tags with your pets? ID tags?
I have it on my dog. I
Mm-hmm.
my cats are all chipped,
Mm-hmm.
so I just keep the chip information. That's a good point, actually. Just have your microchip information up to date.
Yeah.
Check that.
A lot of people don't keep that up to date.
Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is all fantastic information and great tips for my listeners. I greatly appreciate the input, Christine. Did
Of
we
course.
miss anything?
I mean, I think just again, like safety, comfort, and
Yeah.
convenience is the most important thing. Everybody needs to be safe, comfortable. That's going to reduce your stress.
Yeah.
Convenience is going to help you physically. It's going to reduce your stress. And it's a learning process. I've come, I've changed a lot of things over my first trip till now. Oh, so much has changed. I do things very differently, and it improves each time.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I'm like, this is not working.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to do this the next time we get in the car. Um, but generally, every time I learn something on a trip, I improve it, and we're more comfortable.
Safety, comfort, and convenience.
Yeah, absolutely. For you, your animals, and the car.
Yep. Yep. I love it. Thank you so much for being on, Christine.
Oh, you're so welcome. I had a great time.
Awesome. All right. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.